can't be loved because I feel so well. No stars, no sorrows, no sighs. This can't be love. I get no dizzy spell. Love to live. Think of her smile. There's a smile on my face for the whole human race. All the music of life seems to be like a bell that is ringing for me. And from the way that I feel when that bell starts to peal, I could tell I was falling. I would swear I was falling. It's almost like being in love. Almost like being in
Almost like being in love, and that was a different start to our program tonight, wasn't it? So let's go back and do it properly. Hello, I'm Alex here, and you're listening to Thanks for the Memory. Tonight, a good lineup, 8:30, of course, themes we remember. At 8:50, the Million Seller. 9 o'clock, the Hall of Fame. 9:15 on this day. 9:30, Crosby Corner tonight. 10 o'clock, our special, part 2 of the Bogey Bacall special, Have to Have and Have Not. 11 o'clock, it's a fruity melodrama. 11:15 on this day, part 2. 11:30, of course, it's Al Bowley Remembered. A good lineup for our Thanks for the Memory program from Southern FM. Well, we heard from Judy Garland opening our show, and let's continue with the music now and the sound of Freddie Martin. Until midnight, you're with Alex Hehr, and Thanks for the Memory on the great Southern Sounds of Melbourne, Southern FM 88.3.
Good morning.
Assure yourself of a good morning every Monday right here on 88.3 between 9 and 11 a.m.
Yes, we call it Rob. No, Bob and Rob, is it? What do you call it?
I call it Rob and Bob. You call it Bob and Rob.
Oh, whatever you like.
88.3 Southern FM, a good listen tomorrow morning between 9 and 11. Bob Horsfall and Robin Collins and Monday Magazine, or the Bob and Rob or Rob and Bob show, as we were listening to then. It doesn't really matter. It's a great listen if you're swanning around the house with a chenille dressing gown on and a cup of coffee in one hand and a cigarette in the other. Have a listen to the Monday morning program here on Southern FM 88.3. It's 12 and a half minutes after 8 o'clock now. You're on 88.3 Sunday night, your date with nostalgia and a journey down memory lane through until midnight. Until midnight, you're with Thanks for the Memory on Southern FM 88.3.
This is the BBC Light Programme.
I have heard the mavis singing, Bonny Mary,
That was nice, wasn't it? We heard that time Father Sidney McEwen with Jonathan Gregory's orchestra and Bonnie Mary of Argyll. And before that, we heard Roy Fox with the vocal of Denny Dennis and a song that goes back to 1936 at the Cafe Continental on Thanks for the Memory from Southern FM 88.3. I'm Alex Hehr.
Zoom, 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 your aircraft takes you flying high. Traveling is much more pleasant when you fly. TAA is the friendly way. That's a fact, as you'll hear everyone say. TAA will give you service with a smile. Make your journey one that's really well worthwhile. TAA is the friendly way. Always fly TAA. Make your journey one that really is worthwhile. Always fly TAA.
21 after 8 now on 88.3 Southern FM. The 19th annual fete of the Moorabbin Hospital Ladies Auxiliary will be held in the hospital grounds, Centre Road, East Bentley, on Saturday, March the 18th, between the hours of 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. Now, there'll be cakes, books, plants, sweets, jams, fancy goods, and plaster painting. There'll also be a toy and teddy stall. Refreshments and amusements will be available. That's at the 19th annual fete of the Moorabbin Hospital Ladies Auxiliary. You're listening to Thanks for the Memory, part of your weekend on Southern FM 88.3.
Blue heaven, and you're shining just for me. I had written him a letter which I had for want of better knowledge sent to where I met him down the Laughlin years ago. He was shearing when I knew him, so I sent the letter to him, just on spec addressed as follows. Clancy of the overflow. And an answer came directed in a writing unexpected, and I think the same was written with a thumbnail dipped in tar. While the shearing maple wrote it, and verbatim I will quote it. Clancy's gone to Queensland rolling, and we don't know where he are. In my wild erratic fancy visions come to me of Clancy, gone a droving down the Cooper, where the western drovers go.
Australia's own Peter Dawson, and what a marvellous recording of the wonderful Australian composition Clancy of the Overflow, and that was recorded in London shortly before his retirement. And the previous song to that, Dick Todd, of course, we heard, and a song written by Gene Autry back in 1938, and You're the Only Star in My Blue Heaven.
Moorabbin Dance Centre of 14 Station Street, Moorabbin is a proud sponsor of Southern FM. If you wish to learn the art of dancing, Moorabbin Dance Centre teaches modern, Latin, old time and new vogue. If ballroom dancing doesn't appeal, then how about tap, jazz, classical ballet, rock and roll and hip-hop? If you're feeling shy, then there are private classes or small groups and public classes. Moorabbin Dance Centre can train deb sets for your local debutante ball. Dancing is a good way to meet people, and many senior citizens enjoy daytime classes. Inquiries may be made on 555 6206. I repeat, 555 6206.
I want to go dancing all night.
Yes, and the time on Southern FM now is just after 8:30, and in a moment it'll be my pleasure to bring you tonight's edition of Themes We Remember, and a couple of good themes, and I'm sure they'll bring back lots of memories for you. It's 8:31. It's time to relive memories of radio and TV shows of the past with Themes We Remember. Yes, nice part of the show. Good part of the show, this, where we relive radio and television themes from way back when. And tonight, they're all radio themes, all pieces of music that have been used on the air waves over the, well, golden days of radio, I guess. Now, we have two, firstly. I've joined these two together because they were in the one serial. Of course, I talk of Tarzan, and the two particular themes are War in the Jungle, written by Charles Williams, played by the Queen's Hall Light Orchestra, conducted by Charles Williams, on Chapel C201, and then Kampala Kraal Dance by Gideon Fagan, and this is conducted by Robert Farnan, conducting the Queen's Hall Light Orchestra on C331. So enjoy, settle back and relax and pretend it's serial block time on the old radio days with the light glimmering out of the front of the old wireless. And it's Tarzan. Here we go. there we are with the Kampala Kraal Dance and War in the Jungle from Tarzan. And now we move on to our third theme, actually the second in the bracket because we had those two joined together, but actually the third piece of music tonight. And this is written by Roger Barsotti, the late Roger Barsotti. It was written by him in England, and it's played by the Queen's Hall Light Orchestra, once again on Chapel, C411. And because football started the other night, I thought it was time we had a footy theme, and this was used on 3KZ and a number of country radio stations throughout this great land of ours. And it's simply called Football Fanfare. 'Join us next time when once again we relive memories of radio and TV shows of the past with themes we remember. 88.3 Southern FM. It's 20 minutes to 9 o'clock on Thanks for the Memory, and it's rather a warm night here in the studio. It's cooled down quite considerably outside, 22 degrees currently, and in a moment or two we'll be presenting the weather for you.
Southern FM 88.3.
Get thee behind me, Satan. I want to resist, but the moon is low and I can't say no. Get thee behind me. Get thee behind me, Satan. I mustn't be kissed, but the moon is low and I may not go. Get thee behind me. Someone I'm mad about is waiting in the night for me. Someone that I must see. Satan, get thee behind me. He promised to wait, but I won't appear, and he may come here. Satan, he's at my gate. Get thee behind me. Stay where you are. It's too late.
That's Harriet Hilliard, Mrs. Ozzie Nelson, Ricky Nelson's mum, who died last September while I was actually in America. Sad to hear that news. And that was a song from the 1936 movie Follow the Fleet, written by Irving Berlin. Get thee behind me, Satan, and push. It's 17.5 minutes to 9, Southern FM, and it's time for
the weather.
And normally Matt reads this, but he's running a wee bit late, and he'll be here directly. Let's have a look at the weather forecast. There's no warnings. Actually, I was up around the Ballarat area today, and most of that fire has been controlled by the looks of things, but by golly, it's done some damage. We actually drove through the area around Meredith, and that was devastated by the fire, and it's really blackened the whole area. Now, for Port Phillip and Western Port Bay, south to southeast wind of 10 to 15 knots, reaching 20 knots locally in the afternoon, waves of half to 1 metre. Melbourne and the metropolitan area, cloudy periods with a little rain, but fine for the most of the time. Light to moderate south to southeast winds. Maximum tomorrow should be 23 degrees. The outlook for Tuesday, fine at maximum of 25. Wednesday, fine about 33. Getting hot again by the looks of things. Thursday, unsettled and about 36. The current temperature outside is 22, and here in the studio, it's 42.
Wherever you go, there's radio. Yes, radio is here to stay. You can depend upon a great show. Wherever you go on radio. Wherever you go, there's radio. Yes, radio is here to stay. Whether home or in your car, no matter where you are, there's radio night and day. Wherever you go, there's radio, and radio is here to stay.
There's a scene that lingers in my memory.
And tonight, from 1959, Sarah Vaughan's Broken-Hearted Melody. This was the first million seller for Sarah, and it was written by Hal David and Sherman Edwards in 1958. Sarah Vaughan was born on the 27th of March 1924 and made her first public appearance in her native Newark, New Jersey, as a child singer in a choir. She later won an amateur contest at New York's Apollo Theatre and a week's engagement with the Earl Hines Band, which later led to a permanent job with them, where she shared the stage with Billy Eckstine. Broken-Hearted Melody, let's see, it was charted on the 2nd of November 1959. It spent a total of 19 weeks on the chart, and it reached a peak of position number 7. So this week's million seller, recording for Sarah Vaughan and Broken-Hearted Melody.
Music, information, local news, radio drama, all part of the great Southern Sounds of Melbourne. 88.3 Southern FM.
And that was The World Outside, of course, based on Richard Addinsall's Warsaw Concerto. That was played by Russ Conway at the piano with Jeff Love's orchestra and the Mike Sam's singers. It's 3 minutes to 9, and at 9 o'clock, of course, we have our regular feature, which is the Hall of Fame. The science fiction exhibition Out of This World is a wonderful journey into imagination and possibly the future. Science fiction has attracted radio playwrights, filmmakers and avid fans. The exhibition is on until March 22nd at the Performing Arts Museum, River Terrace, Melbourne Concert Hall. The hours on weekdays are between 11 and 5 and 12 to 5 at weekends. Inquiries, certainly, they're welcome on 684 8263. Until midnight, you're listening to Thanks for the Memory with Alex Hehr on the great Southern Sounds of Melbourne, Southern FM 88.3. And that was music, of course, from the very talented Lawrence Tibbett, the late Lawrence Tibbett, from 1931, from the film of the same name and the Cuban love song. It's Southern FM 88.3. We're running a bit late. It's 2 after 9. And now, on Thanks for the Memory, it's time for Alex Hehr's Hall of Fame.
Cornell Gunter, the Las Vegas musician, in 1990. Elsie Janis, actor, singer and producer, died in Los Angeles in 1956. Harry Lander, the UK singer, died in 1950. And Lee Lawrence, another British singer, died in 1961. And Bucka White, the US musician, died in 1977.
Thank you, Matt, for that. And it's nice to have Matt with us at 4 minutes past 9. And that was, of course, the Hall of Fame for the 26th of Feb. And I think we'll have some more music. Don't forget that at 9:15 we have our feature program in this show on this day, which we look at the events throughout history, and then of course at 9:30 Crosby Corner.
All for One song, I Swear, has been a #1 hit right round the world. They promise, I'll stand beside you through the years, I'll be there for better or for worse till death do us part.
Where is the love you said you'd give to me?
In the flush of new love, our romantic idealism spills over in a rush of promises of eternal devotion. But major psychological studies have shown that the heat of romantic love often only lasts 3 to 6 months. To sustain our love, we need to be patient, even long-suffering, a true friend. Personally, I've found many of Jesus' values and relationship statements to be a great model of enduring love. Try, happy are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy, or do to others, even your spouses, what you want them to do to you. All for One says that the true test is time. As Paul McCartney put it, will you still need me when I'm 64? Romance is one thing, caring commitment is another thing altogether. This is John Smith.
You know that it's true. Whenever you start, I'm following you. I'm following you.
You're tuned to the great southern sounds of Melbourne, 88.3 Southern FM.
And we heard that time, I'm Following You from Sweet and Low, the duettists, and that was the theme song from the movie It's a Great Life. And before that, Rita Hayworth. Did you guess who was singing Put the Blame on Mame? Well, it was Rita Hayworth from 1946, and a song written by Alan Roberts and Doris Fisher.
Remember the atmosphere of the Aerobank Speakers Corner? An attempt is being made to recreate this atmosphere every Sunday from 3 till 5 p.m. 2 or 3 soapbox operators will speak through a megaphone on various topics. Questions, comments and hecklers are welcome. Where? At the City Square, corner of Swanson Walk and Collins Street, Melbourne. For further inquiries, ring 836 4245.
SF Electrics is the place to buy TV.
SF Electrics is the friendly firm to see.
Phone them now and in 1 hour you'll have your new TV installed in your home, sweet home.
SF Electrics give you service with a smile.
Their service lasts forever, and that's a long, long while.
SF Electrics is the friendly firm to see. So phone them now without delay. Get your new TV. SF Electrics is the name. SF Electrics is the name. SF Electrics is the name.
SF Electrics, thank you, Bob Horsfall. And it's 13, no it's not, it's 12 minutes after 9, can't read the time right. Maybe it's got something to do with the, oh no it hasn't anyway. Now look, I have to tell you that our phone number is 556 4466 556 4466. If you're enjoying the program, why not give us a call? We'd certainly love to hear from you. If you'd like a request played, we'll certainly do that for you in upcoming programs. So there you go. That's our invitation to you. It's time to hear from Ginger Rogers, and she's going to sing a little song called Let Yourself Go.
Let yourself go.
On this day in 1936, a new family car intended to rival Henry Ford's famous Model T was unveiled in Germany. Chancellor Adolf Hitler opened a factory in Saxony which will mass-produce a small, cheap saloon. This Volkswagen People's car was designed by Ferdinand Porsche of Auto Union, known for more luxurious models. On this day in 1901, 2 leaders of China's Boxer Rebellion were publicly beheaded by a court executioner in Peking, effectively ending the 2-year uprising against the presence of foreigners in China. Japanese soldiers led the condemned rebels to their deaths, while a combined foreign force guarded the route. The previous August, some 10,000 Allied troops captured Peking and ended a 56-day Boxer siege of the European legations. Sir Christopher Wren, builder of St Paul's Cathedral, died on this day in 1723, aged 90. Wren was an astronomer at Oxford, a renowned polymath and a founder member of the Royal Society. At the age of 31, he turned to architecture, designing a college chapel at Cambridge and a theatre and college buildings at Oxford. When the Great Fire of London destroyed some 400 acres of the city in just 4 days, Wren replanned the whole city. Whilst his street plan was rejected, he was asked to rebuild the skyline. It took him the rest of his life. On this day in 1952, it was announced that Britain had developed an atomic bomb and will test it in the Australian desert later in the year. Prime Minister Winston Churchill's announcement in the House of Commons comes 3 years after confirmation that the Soviet Union had a bomb. Churchill said that the previous Labour government had developed the bomb in secret while publicly opposing nuclear weapons. In the US, the Senate Committee on Atomic Energy said that it would help keep world peace. And now let's have a look at some of those celebrating their birthday on this day. The French novelist, dramatist and poet Victor Hugo was born in 1802. French caricaturist, sculptor and painter Honoir Dumier was born in 1808. The American jazz pianist and singer Fats Domino was born in 1928. And the American country and western singer, musician and actor Johnny Cash was born in 1932. It all happened on this day. Eighteen minutes after 9, and of course we will have another presentation of On This Day at 11:15. And at 9:30, our next feature in Thanks for the Memory will be Crosby Corner, and 2 nice songs from Bing in tonight's Crosby Corner.
You're tuned to Thanks for the Memory with Alex Hehr on 88.3 Southern FM.
Moments to spare for someone you care, for one love affair, for two. With the time on my hands and you in my arms and love in my heart for you.
Until midnight, you're with Thanks for the Memory with Alex Hehr on the great southern sounds of Melbourne, Southern FM 88.3.
Stars are saying, stay a while. They seem to say, be gay a while. Stay a little while.
You're tuned to the great southern sounds of Melbourne, 88.3 Southern FM.
Indeed you are, and we heard Hal Swain and his band with Jack Plant singing Time on My Hands, song dating back to 1930, and then the street singer Arthur Tracy from the movie Street Singers Serenade and Stay a While. 25.5 minutes after 9 o'clock now, Southern FM 88.3, and at 9:30, of course, we have for you tonight's edition of Crosby Corner, and I know you're going to enjoy it.
Every year, severe storms do millions of dollars worth of damage to property. But there are things you can do and people to turn to. For free pamphlets on how to cope with severe storms, call your local state emergency service.
Not the first announcer to be caught by that little tag. A nice, bright rendition of some Harry Lauder songs. Songs that the great Scots entertainer Harry Lauder made famous throughout his very long and distinguished career in the British and Scottish Music Hall. And that was played by Harry Davidson's orchestra. It's just after 9:30. Now Southern FM 88.3.
Where the blue of the night meets the gold of the day, someone waits for me.
On Thanks for the Memory, we present Crosby Corner.
Crowns the blue of her eyes like a halo
And welcome once again to another edition of Crosby Corner. Firstly, tonight we go back to the 21st of December 1931 and the song Can't We Talk It Over? And rather unusually on this particular recording, Bing is accompanied by a theatre organ played by Helen Crawford. They recorded this in New York on the 21st of December 1931. Can't We Talk It Over?
Can we talk it over before it's over? Before you whisper goodbye forever, let's talk it over, dear.
Can't We Talk It Over there with Bing and the theatre organ played by Helen Crawford. And now to 1952 and to the film Road to Bali. Of course, the trio of Bob Hope and Dorothy Lamour with Bing, and the song's written by Johnny Burke and Jimmy Van Heusen. Here's Bing and Bob now with the orchestra conducted by Joe Lilly from The Road to Bali, the song Chicago Style, recorded in Los Angeles, oddly enough, on the 23rd of June, 1952.
Look out!
You ready for this?
Who's that coming down the thoroughfare? Yes, sir.
Hey, hey.
A trombone plays Chicago style.
Chicago Style there from Bing and Bob, and that brings to a close this edition of Crosby Corner.
Where the blue of the night meets the gold of the day, someone waits for me.
21.5 minutes to 10 o'clock on 88.3 Southern FM, and of course we heard what was it? We heard Crosby Corner, of course it was, and good to hear Bing and Bob there on Chicago Style on that particular recording from the road to wherever they were going at that particular time, with Dorothy Lamour in tow, which was pretty characteristic for them in the 40s, wasn't it?
This is your station for music, for news and sports. Now we must pause for a moment, our call letters to report. This is radio station
88.3 Southern FM.
your station for music and news and sports. That old gang of mine.
Hello, this is Steve Price, and you're listening to Thanks for the Memory on 88.3 Southern FM with Alex Hehr.
Way that modern kick. 1, 2, 3, kick. 1, 2, 3, kick. Oh, the conga going, see those trumpets blowing, don't delay, be quick. 1, 2, 3, kick. 1, 2, 3, kick. Yes, you will find it charming, quite a bit alarming, with a Cuban kick. Don't let the rhythm scare you. If it does, we dare you to this dropping kick. Oh, join the Cuban conga in this friendly conga with that modern kick. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
.3 Southern FM, and Xavier Cougar and his Waldorf Astoria Orchestra, recorded in New York back in 1939, and our Latin American spot, 1, 2, 3, kick, and before that, Frank Fontaine and the orchestra of Sammy Spear, and That Old Gang of Mine. Hope you enjoyed it.
In 1840, Henry Dendy, an English farmer, read a newspaper report that left him.
Thank you, Bob. It's 13 to 10 now on 88.3 Southern FM.
The Mordialloc area of the Australian Institute of Genealogical Studies Incorporated will meet on Monday the 27th of February at St Nicholas Anglican Church Hall, corner of Bear and Albert Streets, Mordialloc, at 8 p.m. opposite the railway station. The speaker will be Charlie Farriga, and his subject will be Tracing Ancestors at the Public Record Office of Lebanon. All welcome. Visitors are $3, members are free. For more inquiries, contact Gary on 772 7464.
Until midnight, you're with Thanks for the Memory on Southern FM 88.3. Lenny Ross and The Last Time I Saw Paris. Pretty song, written back in 1940 by Jerome Kern and Oscar Hammerstein. Of course, that was sort of written as a tribute to France, which had just fallen to German occupation. And before that, Harold Stern's orchestra, showing up as the Midnight Minstrels on that old Regal 78. And from 1932, a Rodgers and Hart song called Isn't It Romantic? It's coming up to 5 to 10, and we'll have two more pieces of music, and then we'll have our 10 o'clock special. Until midnight, you're on Thanks for the Memory from Southern FM 88.3.
My name is
Wing it was, Vaughan Horton's Pine Toppers, and a song that dates right back to 1907 called Red Wing. And before that we heard Du Bois Summers Band with Dan Donovan's vocal, and a lovely song from 1933, Her Name is Mary. It's a half a minute after 10, Southern FM 88.3. And that familiar tune, of course, heralds in our 10 o'clock special. And if you'd like to give us a call while we're having the 10 o'clock special on 556 4466, you're free to do so. We'd love to have a chat with you. And tonight we pick up on part 2 of To Have and Have Not with Lauren Bacall and Humphrey Go-Kart. And this is a great play, the Lux Radio Theatre from March 1946. So I hope you enjoy part 2 of To Have and Have Not.
You're not to touch my husband.
That's all right with me.
Oh, Harry, please. She's not herself.
Now, look, lady, they can't get a doctor without giving the whole show away.
I won't let you do it.
He's not badly hurt. He's unconscious because he's...
And I hope you enjoyed the program To Have and Have Not, presented by Lux Flakes, of course, and the Lux Radio Theatre of the Air. Next week, I can't think what our special is, but it's going to be terrific, whatever it is. It's possibly more of the 3DB story, but then again, it could be if I had a talking picture. Or I know that we have an episode of Life with Dexter coming up, so we'll keep you in suspenders until next week at 10 o'clock. All right? Yes. Enough of theme. It's nearly 10:30 and we need to have a listen to this little message firstly.
Hey, here's 15 plus ways to save your skin this summer.
Whack on a shirt.
Chuck on a hat. In the middle of the day, get out of the sun.
Relax in the cool of the shade. Whack on some sunscreen.
Get your gear on. Take time out. Have a really long lunch. Get covered. Hey, it's easy. Be sun smart and
Save your skin.
Want to know more? Call the Anti-Cancer Council Sun Smart hotline on 13 11 20.
The Giant Record and Collectibles Fair is now twice a year at Centennial Hall exhibition buildings. LPs, CDs, videos, movie memorabilia and postcards will be there in abundance. The next fair is on Sunday, March the 26th from 10 a.m. till 5 p.m.
Quick one, wasn't it? Thank you, Matt. It's now 10:31.
Young people, older people, single people, working people.
When a family is hit by crisis or emergency, it's often hardest on the kids. Foster care can help, but it takes all types of foster parents to meet the needs of a growing number of Victorian families.
We need lots of people.
To find out about becoming a foster parent,
please ring 1800 013 088. We need you.